Ahoy there, my name's Beth and this is the story of how I renovated my 1904 Dutch sailing barge. This week, we're on a wooden boat. So we're back doing some more battening, but we're going to start battening on the side, which is why I don't have a boiler sit on today, which is rather nice. But actually, just before I start talking about this one, I'll show you some extra bits that I didn't show you last week. So if you remember last week, the battening, we did this battening down to here, but there was a really small piece left over, which was this little bit here. So I've fixed in, I actually did this last week, but I've fixed in these small pieces of batten all the way along. Oops. And so they're all here up to the front, which is quite nice. So the job today is to start working fitting the battens along here. So this is going to be starting to be a bit of an experiment because I kind of had an idea of what I was doing in the rest of the boat, because I needed to fill that space and I understood where the battens were. So these battens are a little bit different and I'm not entirely sure exactly how they're organised yet. So I have to start digging in. But you'll notice that I think there's some battens down here and then there's a batten along the bottom, and I think this batten might be slightly further out. So ideal scenario is that if I put a batten along the top here, then that batten and that batten will be the same height, and it'll be level. So then I can start putting these battens on, so like a batten here and a batten there, etc. And then I can put the cladding on. So I guess the only thing I can do is start to nibble away at this and see what's underneath. So I've got the battens up to almost the aft windows now, and I've got this middle one as well to provide a bit more support because the distance between the bottom batten and the top batten is increasing. So so yeah, 40 centimetre gap I've put in the ceiling battens, or the deck head battens, and so yeah, roughly 40 centimetres as well. So when it increased to about 80 centimetres, that's when I started putting them in. So it's going to be a little bit harder to put another one in here because there's only one batten between this porthole and that aft window, but that's okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's getting on. So I'm going to have to cycle down the river, and yeah, well, let's do that. So I've finished doing these battens all the way up to the end, up to the end of the saloon, up to the aft windows, and so I've got one batten that runs all the way down, and it continues all the way down the boat. And then there's a few spots where I've got some spaces, so I've put a batten in here and a batten in here. So I can now fix the next battens from the top here down to the middle one, the centre one, and then onto the bottom rail. So the bottom rail, I've been trying to work out how I can provide like a little bridge, a little thermal bridge, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it everywhere. So there'll be maybe a little spot where there's wood and then the hull. But that's really next to nothing. It's not really an issue at all, and it's kind of right down here anyway. So so I think that should be fine. So yeah, yeah. I need to. I've run out of battens now, so I need to make a trip to the DIY store at some point this week, and then I can do the other side as well. But yeah. Otherwise, good job. So it's been quite a good week's work, and nice to have an extra trip out as well. Yeah, so next week I've actually run out of battens now, so I'm gonna have to go and buy some more battens, and then we're going to get the sides done. So it turned out the actual sides themselves don't take much time at all, really. Maybe the same as kind of one section, so a couple of hours, 3 hours or something. So I think I can finish that soon, and then I'll start doing the battenings on the undergunnels, and then really we're ready for the kind of next battens and the cladding. So yeah, so it's been a positive week. We're kind of getting there, so hopefully internal walls in the not too distant future. But anyway, as ever, thanks for watching, and stay safe, and I'll see you next time.